Good morning, Robin. Good morning, everyone. So great to see everybody. I'm quite sure we're going to have a few others joining, but I'm super excited this morning. First of all, because it's December and we're all starting to do like holiday out everywhere, which is so fantastic. I made my new background this morning. I'm sure I'll change it 3 more times. You guys know me. And Christmas kind of had a baby at my house. There's like every corner, nook and cranny of my house has got some kind of holiday thing in it. So it's quite festive. I hope your homes are rolling into that as well. But today we're kind of looking ahead. It's the fabulous time to start to really pull yourself together and do a couple things. One of them, of course, is to review the year. That's a huge piece of what we should always do, is kind of review in every way, not just the production piece, but really the whole year. I've got a great tool this morning that I want to share with you to do that. And then to really start to look at next year. And we're going to go a little crunchy granola in a sense today, because I honestly believe unless you start with that why and that vision and a bunch of things Sammy's going to talk about, and you guys know me, a bunch of resources I'm sharing, including a great new worksheet that John Gordon has come up with to look at the year behind and the year ahead. Unless we start with that crunchy granola and kind of what is really, what's filling our heart, filling our soul, we never get there, because life just keeps on, all that urgent, not important stuff is the stuff that's banging at us all the time. So I'm so excited. I don't really know Sammi. I knew Sammi was like an icon agent, and she was like all that in a bag of chips, and good friends of Marissa and Tom, which means already she's fabulous. But I met her a little more. Dorothy Manning's trying to get in, sending me workplace chats. Hold on for a second. So I met Sammi and really listened to Sammi when we did that amazing program in Rockland a few weeks ago, the Make Your First Million. And my mouth was hanging open. I was like, wow, that girl does a lot more than sell real estate. We're kind of all going, what's syndication? Oh my God, this is unbelievable. And she's built this unbelievable business in a way. I'd love to have her on sometime next year just to talk about syndication. We'll touch on that a tad today, but really Sammi, in order to get where Sammi is, Sammi has to do a lot of planning and being very intentional about her time and her efforts and her relationships and her business and her family. And so I thought she'd be a great logical person to bring on this morning and share her process and some nuggets for us. And then today we're going to go over some more resources as well to get that table set. And then I'm always available, as I know Tom is, to work with you one-on-one to kind of look at where next year how we can plan for next year. So with all of that, I'm going to spotlight, if I can. I don't really know how to do that. I'm going to try to spotlight Sammi. Anyone know how to do that? Tom, do you know how to do that?
Yep, you should be able to click on her name and hit spotlight.
Oh, got it. Yep, spotlight for everyone. Okay, so hopefully that just spotlighted Sammi.
Okay.
Now,
Hi,
when I run the PowerPoint, Tom, will she still stay spotlighted? Yes. Okay. Great.
Yes, she'll be the only one showing up. Correct.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Unless someone else is speaking. Yep.
Yeah, if you want to pull up the PowerPoint, that's fine too. Yeah, if you want to start now, that's
I sure
okay.
can.
But yeah, so let me start. Lisa, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm so honored to be here today, and I'm so happy to see everyone here.
Are
so
y'all
my
seeing
goal
that?
today is,
So are you sorry? Are you seeing the PowerPoint?
Oh, just Sammi.
Okay.
No,
All right. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I've got this.
Okay. So my goal today is to create as much value as I can for you guys. So hopefully you guys will ask me any questions you like after the events. So my name is Sammi Ng. I've been in real estate for 18 years, and I had my own brokerage for about 10 years. I've been with EXP for 3 years and 3 years Icon. I am a personal mentor for some of the agents in the company, and I'm also a syndicator, as Lisa just mentioned. We invested in about 1,500 doors, and we're limited partners, key principal, and co-general partner. And I'm also a mom of 2 beautiful girls. So today we're going to talk about planning for 2022. and really create a roadmap for your future. But before we start, I kind of want to talk about what happened in the last 2 years. We've gone through pandemic. We changed the way how we interact with other people, how we conduct our business, how we really live our life, right? So with all of the changes, we really, every one of us have gone through a lot of stress, a lot of difficulties. But I don't know if you know that some of us have done really, really well for ourselves. I mean, we have done so well that it was the best year ever. So you guys, does anybody have the best year in 2022? And here, I can't see any of you guys. Hello?
Hi, yeah.
Absolutely, Sammy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you guys can hear me. Oh, you're good.
Yeah,
good, good. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so does anybody have the best year ever in 2022?
100%.
Awesome. I mean, it was a really good year for me. And I think, because of all the successful people in this world, they always know their why. And we all have a strong why, and we need to know what that is. Because life is not going to be easy, and it hasn't been easy for any of us. And if life gets into the way, and like we might have another shutdown, we might lose our jobs, we might lose a loved one, we might have a health crisis. Who knows what's going to happen, right? So you really, really need to know your why. When life gets tough, you always go back to your why. So today I want you guys to think about what is your why. Why you do what you do, why you get up early in the morning, why you're still talking to the client past midnight, why you do what you do. If you guys can help me, just write it down, and we can always refer back to it. So take a minute to write it down. Oh, we're on chat. Sorry. So I'm gonna talk about my why.
Yes.
My why is always been financial freedom. I want to build a legacy for my family. I know a multifamily apartments is where I want to be. I want my cash flow to pay for my expenses, so that I can live the lifestyle I want. I can retire at the age of 60. I can travel around the world and really do all the things that I want to do. But the most important thing is I want my kids to have options. I want to be able to let them know that if you work hard and you're persistent, you can achieve basically anything. And for those who have kids, I don't know if you know, they're actually watching you. They're constantly watching what you do and what you say. So when we started the syndication business, my kids are actually asking a lot of questions. They would be like, well, are you really buying this property? This place is huge. The last one we bought was 244 doors. And they're like, are you really buying this? So they always want to know what you're doing. They're asking questions. So you want to create a good role model for your kids. So the first thing is to create your why. And then the next thing we do, Lisa, if you can go to the next page. Okay. So SMART goals. The first thing we want to do is create, after you know your why, we want to create a SMART goal. Your SMART goal has to be specific. It has to be measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And so if we're in real estate, we have to be specific. How much do we want to make in 2022? Is it 100,000, 200,000, 300,000? You guys need to figure out that number. And so in our market, it's about, say, 500,000, 2% commission. It's roughly 10,000 for each closing. So if I want to make 100,000, I need to have 10 closings in 2022. So the question is, how many clients do I need to talk to? How many buyers do I need to talk to? How many sellers? Where am I going to get my business? So you need to be as specific as you can. Is it social media that you're going to obtain your buyers? How many clients that you have to put in your database in order to reach that number? So you need to be as specific as you can. And next, it has to be measurable. If you talk to 4 people and you are able to close 1 deal, then you have a 25% success rate. So you want to ask yourself, how many clients do I need to talk to? How can I measure my success? And next is attainable. It's your goal achievable? Is it realistic? Is it unrealistic? You need to adjust it and make sure that you can achieve this goal. And is it relevant? Does your goal fit your bigger picture of your life? Does your goal align with your objective? Will it focus the goal will this goal pulls you away from other more important goals? So when I did my SMART goals in 2020, I actually did multiple ones. I did one for my personal SMART goals, and I did a couple for business SMART goals. So for my personal SMART goals, my goal was to get my husband to quit his job. He has a full-time job that he absolutely hates. He's in this job for over 20 years. So our job is to find ways to offset his income. So in order for us to do that, we look into our business goals. How do I increase my revenue so I can allow him to quit his job? How do I get into syndication where we can get this residual income that allows him to quit his job? And another thing is we have rentals. How do we increase our rents? I know a lot of people are saying, well, during pandemic, you don't raise rents. We actually raised $30,000 in rents in 2021 for our tenants. So how do you achieve that? So you always ask yourself, what do we need to do to achieve your goals? Your goal might be to buy a dream home, or maybe buy a new car. Whatever the case may be, you need to figure out what that goal is, and you can try to achieve it. And last but not least is time-based. How much time do you have to achieve this goal? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? You have to make that decision. So next slide, please. So I often look at whether our goal is realistic. So I'm just gonna use number as an example. If I want to achieve 120,000 in 2022, it's about 12 closings. And if my split is with EXP is 20%, which pretty much everybody has the same split, I would walk away with 96,000. And I urge you guys to invest in the EXP stock that you can get it as 10% discount, and you put 5% away. So if I do that, it's going to take $4,800 from my overall $96,000 that I would be getting. And my net would be $91,200. So if you look at your businesses and you said, well, my business expenses is 20%. Yours might be lower, might be higher. Mine is about 20 to 25% every year. So that's $18,240. So I will walk away with $72,960. And if my personal tax return, I have to pay tax with 20%, that would give me $14,492. And then you can walk away with $58,368. I'm sorry, just wait 1 second. I need to get some water. I'm sorry. Be right back.
I'm curious why she put 24,000 for the split when it should be 16, right? Or
You beat me to the punch there, Louise. Yeah, I was about to tap into the chat, but I'd rather just have a conversation.
me
We can
too.
clarify with Sammy. I think, yes, that is correct. I think that Sammy, hey, Sammy.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm dehydrating. I'm so sorry.
No. Drink lots of water. Lots of water, and wash your hands, everybody. Wash your hands.
No, I get so dehydrated. You know, I got my booster shot a couple of days ago, and I got really sick.
Yeah.
So
hey, Sammy,
it was pretty consistent. So so this is my
Sammy, hang
shot.
a second. So Louise Knight, when you walked away, Louise Knight mentioned, hey, why is it 24, not 16? Because if you're with EXP, you have a $16,000 cap. And I was about to type in the chat, maybe she's adding another 8,000 for the MLS fees, for the realtor fees, for marketing, for advertising, and maybe that's all.
The business expenses or the EXP split?
It says split with the EXP is 20%. Well, we cap at 16,000. So right, there's an extra $8,000 in there. That's all.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes. But you do pay 5,000 after.
If you
pay
icon.
$250 per
If you
transaction.
icon out, yeah, if you icon out, yeah. So Louise, just look at it as you are absolutely right. The cap is
Yes.
16,000. Look at it as your all-in expenses, investments to run your real estate business.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
yes, and my business expense is 20%, but yours might be 25, maybe 30. If you're starting off, your expenses might be higher than mine or maybe lower. So, and I actually calculate my business expenses with 91,200 instead of my gross commission.
Yeah.
So the number is actually lower too. So
Right.
it depends on how you calculate your business expenses.
Yeah.
And then my personal tax return, everybody's tax bracket is different. Some of you guys might be at 40%, some might be at 20, some might be at 30. It depends on how you do your taxes. I mean, for me, this year it's going to be 0 because I have other things that I can offset it. So that's really up to you how your number works. But at the end of the day, if you bring home $58,368, what is your household expenses? I mean, that is like the $1 million question. How much do you really spend on your car, on your mortgage, on your food, on your kids? I mean, it's everything else that is outside of your business expenses. And so you want to figure out if you're working with a net income or a net loss. So that is kind of like the decision that you need to know. What are you working with right now? If you bring in 120,000, do I need to lower my expenses? You guys can try to maybe do that calculation yourself and see, and let me know if you're working with a net loss or net income at the end of the day if you bring in 120,000. Maybe you can put it on the chat.
We can also, after you're done with the presentation, we can kind of throw that out because it's just such a
okay. Sounds
great
good.
way to start. I mean, anyway, go ahead. this is really great.
Yeah. So, I mean, this happens to me before too, like years ago when I sell a lot of houses and I said, well, I make so much money. At the end of the year, the company's going to give you a 1099 and you say, wow, I make this much money, but how come I don't have anything in my bank? Because you guys are not looking at the whole big picture and a lot of times people don't even know what their business expenses are. They don't know their household expenses. So when you start putting all of that together, you're going to have some clarity of where you stand in life. And Lisa, can we go to the next slide?
Yep.
So I always tell people, know your numbers, know your net worth. And I know this is planning for 2022, but you really kind of know where you're starting. If you know your net worth today, then a year later, you know that your net worth has increased, decreased, or stay the same. You will know that because you know where you started. And really know your monthly income, your monthly household expenses, and your monthly business expenses. And the financial freedom number, it's something that you have to look into in a very early age, because for some people, financial freedom number is, if I have so much money, that's my financial freedom number. But when I talk about financial freedom number, I ask myself, what is the number that I need? If I decided to retire today, how much do I need on a monthly basis that I can live on without, for me, have to go out there and work? The residual money could be from your rentals, or it could be your rev share that you're getting every single month, like Tom's getting, or it could be your annuities. It could be your a pension. Whatever the case may be, you need to figure out what that financial number is so that you know how to plan for your future. Next slide, please. So for me, I have a financial freedom formula. I know exactly how much I bring in as an income, how much I spend, and at the end of the day, I need to know that I'm saving money. And the money that I save, I reinvest it into real estate. And with the tax savings that I get, that will become my financial freedom number. So this is the formula that I actually use for the last 18 years. And it's been working for us. And we're working very close to our financial freedom number. And I'm hoping that I can retire before 60. That's my ultimate goal.
Can you give us just like, go through that formula with just big numbers and tell me a little bit
Okay.
more about how you got there? Because, you know, it's funny,
Okay,
Sammy and I
so-
talked about, you know, before. Sammy's like really focused on the numbers. So I'm like, woo, woo, way up here in the clouds. This is like Greek to me. I hate to tell you. It's simple, but it's like Greek.
Yeah, so, okay, so say for instance, if your income is 100,000 and your expenses is 50,000, you would have a saving of 50,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take this 50,000 and you reinvest it into real estate, see, all these years, the only thing that I can find that makes sense for me is really investing in real estate, because real estate is the only place that offer a lot of tax savings. Like if you buy stocks and you sell it tomorrow, you're going to pay the full tax.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get any write-off. You're not going to get any depreciation, 1031 exchange, bonus depreciation. You need to pay the taxes. But with real estate, there's a lot of ways that you can work around it. Like even with clients, they can live in a house for 2 years and move to another house and they don't have to pay any taxes and for the capital gain. I mean, these are a lot of savings that people don't understand. And there's so much that they're offering with real estate. So I tend to reinvest my money into real estate so that I can take advantage of all the tax savings to grow my wealth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I absolutely concur with that, Sammy. I mean, all over the years, we've made a lot of different investments, and you're spot on, right? Yes, we invest in stock where there's zero write-offs in stock, nothing whatsoever, right? But in real estate, there's so many legal, correct ways to, you know, to minimize your tax to Uncle Sam. So, and it's the fastest way for, at least for our family, to build wealth.
Yes.
Yeah. So whenever we can, every extra money, every extra savings that we have, we reinvest it right back into real estate in one fashion or another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And you have to do that. And I always often hear people say, well, I make so much money, I don't need to do that, because their mind is, I'm going to be making this money every single year. But one of the things that we don't understand is, you know, our income increases, but our expenses also increase. And over time, you're not going to be able to work as hard as you want to. You know, after 18 years, I'm tired. I don't work the way I worked 18 years ago. But I was very fortunate that I built a really great referral network where I can capture a lot of those business. We can talk about that later. But truthfully, if you don't have any residual income coming in for you, you really need to look into it, because that's the money that's going to fund your retirement. And I really believe real estate, it's the only avenue that makes sense for me to get that residual income.
Yeah, and I think many of us are thinking now, well, where do I do that? How do I start? But I'm going to see if I can definitely pin you to get you back in February or March to talk a little bit more about syndication and investing. Maybe you and Tom could even do a panel, because I know both of you have done a lot of real estate investing, and it looks really different than I think a lot of us have in our minds about what it might look like. So, and I think, you know, obviously we can take questions as well. Is there another slide here? Are you ready for me to move on?
Yes, you can move on. Yes, I'm all set. I think that's the last.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, please. Let's you've got Sammy, who is a brilliant real estate investor, and that was a great presentation. Who's got some questions? I know somebody was texting me some questions. So just unmute
Sammy,
yourself.
that was awesome. You know, Sammy covered some really basic stuff, but guys, the simplest business plan, the best business plans are the simplest business plans, right? Let's not make it so complicated. You know, if you invested today, this week, you know, this weekend, and you drew out and you mapped out what your 2021 is, what it will be, because we're only just, 29 days away from the end of the year. So you should have a very clear understanding of how your 2021 went. I would invest a lot of time into that and then set yourself up for 2022. Now is the time to plan, folks, not on January 1st, right now, do it. Keep it simple. I mean, Sammi, you're sharing this presentation with us. I already took pictures of every slide that came on. I don't know about you guys, but that was valuable stuff.
Another thing I want to add to is that, if you guys can put together a vision board based on your why and your goals, put together a vision board. I do this every single year, and I do it with my kids. I think it's fun that when you involve your family into your plans, they will support you, and it really gets you going, right? And so I always have like a list of things that I want to put on my vision board, and my daughter goes online and she researched it and she prints it out and she cuts it and we put it together. So it's fun, and you look at it every day. So I strongly suggest a vision board, and start your planning now. Don't start your planning next year. Start planning right now. And if you need to call those clients, this is a perfect time to call your clients. Christmas it's an amazing time to reach out to people, to build your business, to get those referrals. So right now it's a perfect time.
Yeah, such a great point.
I bought tons of lottery tickets, and I'm working on my cards. I bought all of this like yesterday. So we'll be working on like about 400. I send about 400 cards every year, and I include lottery tickets, my business cards, and a little small gift. Last year I was sending out small masks to my client. It's just to have some fun, right? And I get referrals from it every single year. So start now. Don't start next year. Sorry, I need more water.
Sammi, one more time. You are sending out 400 Christmas cards. Inside that are lottery tickets and your business card. And basically, are you handwriting everything, or are you? Did you print up 400 cards with the same thing with your name like printed already, or are you actually manually writing 400?
Okay, so let me tell you my trick.
We have you. You can stop recording now, Lisa. This is the trick for those who showed up.
Oh, it's been recording. Stop recording. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been sending
This is
Christmas
special for
cards
only
out.
those on here.
I know, right? I've been sending Christmas cards out for 18 years, ever since I started with my career, and I've been very consistent about it. So I know, and I know people are getting them because I'm getting the referrals all the time, every single year. This is how I start the year. So with my business card, I have two types of cards. If the client is closer, who I have done business with, I mean, I have some clients who buys and sells from me. Like the guy who bought the most from me is 15 houses in my entire career, just one person. So I have a way to get them to keep coming back to me, because I teach them how to be an investor. And when they start being an investor, they start buying and selling. And they keep coming back to me. So these people I have a better relationship with. They know my husband, they know my kids. So my card will be different. It will be a photo card instead of a regular Christmas card. Okay. So I do handwritten every one of them. I customize because I value every client that I've dealt with, and their referral to me, it's the most important thing in my business. So it depends on who they are. I will give them a different card. If somebody I just met, I just sold them a house, I don't know much about them, I would just give them a regular card. And in my card, I always have lottery tickets, and the numbers are based on our relationship. Some are more, some are less. And I always have a business card. However, I don't put a regular business card. I put the magnetic business card, because my expectation is when they get my card, they would put my business card right on their refrigerator. And also, do not buy those calendar magnetic cards. Do not do that, because they're going to trash it, right? End of the year, it's going to stay on your refrigerator for 1 year, and that's it. But if I give them a regular business card, it can stay on their refrigerator forever. So just, that, so I'm very specific on how I send out my cards. And then I will, last year I did some free masks because it was COVID. So it's just having some fun. So I have some Asian clients and I will send them red envelope because in January, February 1st, it's Chinese New Year. So I would send them those blank red envelopes for Asians clients. And I always include some small gifts. So that's how I put my cards together. So I do spend a lot of time doing that.
I love that. This is such a hidden gem of today's session because it's only January 3rd, everybody. There is no excuse, including I'm looking at Robin. I keep looking over at Robin because we always do a holiday. And Raymar and Robin and I have been working on like what we're going to do this year because we went to send out, we've got, let's say, close to 300, and we went to send out cards and all of a sudden, no matter what, all in, you're like $275 a card. And suddenly it was $600-700. And I said to both Robin and Raymar, I want to give that money to Housing Assistance Corp. I'm not going to spend that $700 on impersonal cards to send out, but now listening to Sammi, I'd rather have it be, we do always make the donation locally, but that was like sort of a meaningless card in a way, you know what I mean? And it was an awful lot of money and we couldn't, shore it up. So I love what you're saying.
But Lisa, I just buy regular cards. Like I do the photo cards and I usually spend about $1 each on each photo card. But if it's for regular cards, I just buy them at BJ's or Costco.
Got it.
And it really, people don't care for the card, honestly. I mean, let's be honest. People care for the lottery tickets that's in there, and they value your business cards and the gifts that you gave them. But if I can just have them put my business card right on their refrigerator, that's all it matters. I don't care for no one cares for the card. Yeah. So that's how. So I don't spend a lot of money on the card itself.
But here's the nugget for me, Sammi.
Go
ahead.
How much do you spend on the lottery ticket?
$1. I buy $2 and $5 lottery tickets. So it depends on who it is. Some I would give them 4, 5. Some might be 10. It really depends, but majority of them it's 2 to 4.
Can you show us one of your Christmas cards so we can see what it looks like, please?
Sure. I haven't gotten hang on a second.
What I also wanted to say was the nugget for me was that I was trying to think about the most efficient way to do this. And what Sammi's reminding me of is, for Christ's sake, this is the time when we should sit down and spend the time and spend the money on those people that have helped get us to where we are. Don't have it be this exercise in my mind of like getting it over with and spending the least amount of money. I think this is, we should spend this is where we should be spending our time this month, not trying to find an efficient, way to get it done. So that's been a huge nugget for me. Thank you so much, Sammi.
Yeah. So my card is very simple. I haven't started, but it's just a very simple card. And I haven't gotten the photo card yet. Actually, this year I went to Groupon and I bought a couple hundreds of the photo cards, and it has our photos, family photos in it. And I think I spent $40 for 100 cards.
Wow.
And I don't even have to write anything. So it's that simple for me when it comes to
Where did you get those? If they're 40 cents?
I go to Groupon and then they have these discounts. I think it's called photoaffections.com. And then you can order 100, 200, and you get it at a discount. And then you go to the website and you order them. And with shipping and everything, I spent about $40 for 100 cards. That's it this year. It hasn't arrived yet, but it looks pretty good. I have 4 photos in it, has all our names, and so I'm sure it's gonna work. And I actually have a client who keeps it every year. They keep all my photo cards, and she takes pictures of it. She puts it all in her fridge, and she's in Asia right now, but she takes a photo and she shows me. I'm like, this is amazing. People actually keep some if you send a photo card.
Let's put something in perspective, since we're talking about budgeting. If you are capping here at EXP and you're selling $80,000 in GCI, and you're paying the company $16,000, you're grossing $64,000, right? To spend $640 is 1% of your income.
Yep.
If you're an icon, you're bringing in about $300,000 per year. To spend $1,500 is half of a percent.
Yeah.
And these
Great
are
reminder.
referral, repeat, loyal clients who've already written offers with you, shared with you all the personal information. This is not a cold internet lead. There's no better place for you to invest than in your repeat referral clients.
Yep. And
Right?
Tom, let me
Our
add-
agents go out and spend 5% or more to buy a brand new internet shitty lead.
Yep.
And here we are spending 0.5% for people who've already entrusted us.
Yep. And Tom, I want to add to that is that I think I spent the money that I spent on my Christmas cards and the lottery tickets just to ship 400 out there. It's probably a cost of a rental. That's it. Not even a sale. That's how
rental.
cheap it is for me. So it makes no reason for me not to do it. So I do it myself because I customize every card. So I always do it myself, but this is really the one thing that I've been doing the last 18 years consistently. I don't think I've ever been so consistent before. So this is like the most consistent thing because I get referrals from it every single year, every year.
So Marissa and I go over the top in terms of making sure that our clients, feel like our past clients or loyal clients feel like $1 million, right? I mean, we personally deliver apple pies to them for Thanksgiving. We're having a client appreciation party at our home here on Sunday. All of them gets the invite. Maybe 10% show up, but they all get the invite.
Yeah.
And they all know that we've top of mind and we say, hey, bring your family, bring your kids. If you move to another state like New York or Connecticut, crash at our place. We have Airbnbs, you can stay here. Less than 10%, maybe even 5% take us up on it. But the residual value in terms of referral business is absolutely over the top, right? And this year, for this year, we've invited all of our tier 1 and tier 2 agents on our team to come to this appreciation party, right? You're our clients. Sammy, you're my client. Lisa, you're my client. Louise, all of you guys are my client. So we sent that out to all of you as well.
So the way I did it is people get a lot of Christmas cards, right? Sorry, people get a lot of Christmas cards like starting in December. I sent out Thanksgiving cards. And they were the invitation to the party because that's before people get the influx of cards, just thinking that they're going to hold on to that and then save the date, basically. And then after that, we also sent out an invitation Evite wise. So I did it electronically as was the mail.
And it's them hearing from you. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when looking, as we've been talking about, part of this process always should be really taking a hard look at the past year and what did the budget look like for honoring those clients that have gotten you to where they are, and have you really analyzed where you got all your business? I have a spreadsheet that I keep all of my transactions on, and I really break down how many came from CRS, how many came from EXP, how many came from realtor.com. Like every single lead is in a bucket and I know where they're coming. And then I build a chart around that and look at that over the years. And it's been really, it's been very, very helpful. It's been helpful to making decisions and helpful to know how to budget for the next year, where to put more of my time. For me, my referral network, realtors that refer business to me is a big piece of my business. So what am I doing relative to that? Last year I sent them all The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker with a nice note from Amazon. I should have, I'm sure, gotten them, put them in a nice box and sent them myself, but as good as I could do was sending it from Amazon with a nice note about how I'd hope that, here, cheers to your happiness in 2021, because I love that book. And many of you probably received it from me. So that to me, what am I doing to build up my referral network? And that's always part of my vision and always from my business standpoint. I wanted to throw out to everybody, as you're going through this process or what you've been through before in the past, what tools have you used? I have a folder. I put a bunch of resources. Actually, Corinne's got her hand up. She wanted to ask something or say something. Corinne, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, I just want to put this out there, and this is most likely for a future event with Sammy and Tom on the investment side of things, is that like when I hear all this, like I just get anxiety over like how do you get this financed? Because I have, applied for a loan, a mortgage, or for my own house, or I've applied for a home equity loan, and like you got to give them all this stuff and then you're denied. You got to give them more stuff and you don't make enough and your debt to income ratio is off. And so I'm like, how could I ever buy an investment property if I can't even get a loan on my, for myself? So that's like, it gives me anxiety. Like, I'd love to do it, but need to know how. And I know there's probably ways to do it. And like I said, it's just, I want to put that out there for a future.
Yeah. I was saying that like February or March, I'd love maybe February if Sammy's available and Tom, and we can see if there's someone else they think would be good in terms of a panel, but about some of that just in our 1 hour mastermind, kind of, the ABCs of starting to invest in real estate. And actually a shameless plug, in CRS, we are going to be doing, so they've got some new certifications in RRC, and one of them is investing for realtors. And we're doing the 2-day certification, not till later in the year, but just to let you know, and I can, have Raymar's going to send out an email summarizing everything from today and with some great links. And I'll make sure you have a link to that certification from RRC as well, because Chris Bird, who's doing most of that certification, is the smartest person on the planet in real estate investing and real estate taxes. And he's the one who's driving that certification. And I would really encourage everybody to get a little smarter by investing in yourself this year. And you know what? Put that in your budget. What you're investing, it's one of the things Elizabeth Mendenhall talked about yesterday with the 10 questions all leaders should ask themselves. Question number 1, are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in yourself? So put that into your budget. Make sure. Yeah, thank you. Your 10 questions
from yesterday.
Yeah,
no, my notes from yesterday.
I've got the slides. I'll share them on our Facebook page. So I mean, put that into your budget. How you're going to get smarter at some of these goals, and part of that is asking me. I send out that survey. What do you want me to do for these masterminds? But also there are RRC has some great resources for certifications, and the investment is certainly one of them. So we've got a few minutes left, 15 minutes left. I wanted to throw out, first of all, what tools have you used in the past that were helpful for this time of year and looking at business planning, looking ahead? I do have that folder. We're going to send that out in an email as well. I put it back in the chat. I've got a bunch of different ways that we can, depending on if you want to drill down, there's one of them that's like 18 pages. And then there's one that's 2. And so I wanted you to see kind of a variety. I did this last year as well, a variety of business planning resources. I'm going to post that up on Expert Attractions as well. I'm going to post the link. I tried to start to put the files up, but then the files, you can't put a folder up there. So I'll just post the link to this folder. And as we continue to add to this folder as well, please use it, share it. The better prepared we are, the more intentional we are, the more we take time to do what's important and not urgent, the better our businesses will be. It's that important, not urgent that we never get to. And if we don't put all that in fact, everyone who comes to our event next week and everyone who's here is certainly invited. We're going to Gardens Aglow at the Heritage on Thursday, the 9th, to see the lights and be together outside. But the gift I've chosen to bring to everyone this year is a gigantic wall calendar. And I want you all to have the opportunity to look at your year in one place and start to really map out, what are those important vacation times? What are those important thinking times? What are those important, all the things that we never put in the calendar first, the not urgent important, to get those in a calendar and look at the whole year. And you don't need to leave it up on the wall if you don't want to, but I think for these planning purposes, it's enormously valuable and helpful to look at the year at one time. So Tom, Tom and Marissa, what templates, what business planning, what have you guys used? Obviously, you've done kind of okay for yourselves. So we're gonna take some of your great advice.
So let me start with this. I know that there's a mixed group of experienced agents, seasoned agents versus rookie agents on here. So when you're hearing Sammi saying she's going to send out 400 cards, and Lisa sending out whatever 300, 600 cards, whatever the number is, don't compare yourself to us. Start with your own benchmark. If this is your first year, then do your best to get out a dozen cards, a dozen mailers, right? Even if you want to have 2 closings, or make sure those 2 get it. But then how about your friends, your family? How about your neighbors? Let them know that you're in the business. When I did the math with Sammi, she's sending out 400 cards. She's been in the business as a real estate agent for 18 years. Guys, that average is just 22 clients a year. And I know Sammi does a lot more than 22 deals a year. So over time it builds up, and the key thing is, the nugget here is, it's consistency, right? Every year it's extremely important that Marissa and I send out Thanksgiving cards and apple pies and client appreciation party. That is extremely important, and we have to put away the urgent stuff to take care of the important stuff, what Lisa Parento just says. Barbara Legg ran a November for us. November, right? Writing 5 cards a day. Did you keep up that activity, 5 cards a day? Boy, if you kept up November for 5 cards a day, you would have written 20 cards in November already, right? I mean, 5 cards a day is, not whatever, 5 times 30 days is 150 cards already. So if you did that, you can certainly send out 150 Christmas cards just from your November. Does that make sense? And so the system, Lisa, to answer your question in a short, brief, succinct way, is, I don't want you guys to get caught up on, this is what Tom's doing, this is what Lisa's doing, this is what Sammy's doing, this is what Marissa's doing. The system that works is the system you guys decide to build for yourself, and stay consistent with it. That's what's most important.
But to Tom's point, like, we always do the customer appreciation party because this guy, he loves to party. That's his personality. Just because what we're doing works for us, it's based on our, the way we operate. So if you're not a party person, don't throw a customer appreciation party. If you're more handwriting notes, then do that. Just make sure that it's genuinely you versus you trying to be somebody that you're not.
Yeah,
Can I
that's a
add something to that?
great point. Yeah, please.
Yes, you can also do it in a budget too. So like in Thanksgiving, I just sit there and text people. You pick a nice picture and you just start texting people Happy Thanksgiving. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. It's just the idea that people know that you remember them, right? As a client, and you appreciate them, and you want to reach out to them. So that's what I do. And Thanksgiving, I probably text like 200 people just in a couple hours. So you can do that too. And that would be very cost effective. It doesn't cost you anything, actually. And you're still reaching out to people. You can do that in Christmas.
Such a great point. Yeah, everyone probably on this call knows, thanks, all those holiday mornings, I send out my Bitmoji with that holiday thing. I just sit there and text like a million people, and
Yeah,
it's so awesome
exactly.
to hear back from so many people. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm about to purchase kitchen equivalents for a whole lot of people in my farm. And I'm wondering if that is waste and I should instead get refrigerator magnet business cards.
What's a kitchen equivalent?
Kitchen, 1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons, that kind of thing.
So if somebody bakes it, it would be nice to get that. I still think the magnet is the key because it's right on your refrigerator.
Yeah.
And everyone can see it.
Yeah, there was a
business
question,
card
Sammi,
got
about
better.
asking that. Yeah, but where do you get those? Where have you ordered those from, Sammi, that have been good quality?
Yeah, they're pretty good quality. I tried different companies. I think it's like Vistaprint.
Okay.
I used that before. Yeah, I've tried different ones. Yeah. They're pretty decent quality, but just make sure you don't include the calendar. That's a big thing, because I did that one year, and I noticed that people just trashed them at the end of the year.
And Build a Sign has them for $20 for, I think it's 100. Pretty basic
Exactly.
ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cost effective. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's one of our vendors. All right, so thank you so much, Sammy. It's just been amazing information. I'm so grateful for you, and we're going to definitely have you back maybe for our February mastermind. Just kind of we'll plan some kind of a ABCs of investing. I know it would be of great service and value to lots of folks, for sure. I just want to take a couple minutes to make sure you're all getting access to that folder of the business planning resources that I put in the chat. The one that I really want you to do, and I wish my colleague Kathy Cruz was on this morning. I forgot to text her individually because she's not really on our team, but I put her on my team in my heart. There's a life assessment worksheet. It's part of another one of the business plans, but it is 5 pages of taking a look at, you rate yourself from 1 to 5 in relationship and family, physical, business, financial, spiritual, mental, and lifestyle. And then many of you have seen, here, I'm just going to take off my background for a minute because you can't see a bloody thing I'm doing. Hold on. Oops, that's not it. There. Many of you have seen a life wheel before. They're kind of all over the place. There's a million different versions of it. I got one from Success Coaching and I went through that. But it's really powerful this time of year. And that's just the point I want to make, to really honestly sit with yourself for 10 minutes and go through the life assessment. This is just a really simple one. And it was a great, you score yourself, total score, and be honest. Nobody has to see it, right? Just really be honest with yourself and really take a look at where you are, where you've been. And then it's going to be quite obvious to you where you probably need to spend a little bit more of your time. And it can be really a guiding light for when you're making some of these decisions about where you're going to focus next year and where you need to put some of your resources. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. And one of the questions to ask yourself is, am I having fun? That was one of the questions that Elizabeth Mendenhall mentioned to us last night. And actually, Annie Hart-Cool, by the way, has agreed to do Mastermind Monday in January. Start us off with, let's have fun. So I'm very excited about that because Annie is just a hoot. And she actually volunteered to be the fun coach when we were on the installation yesterday afternoon. But she's going to be doing a piece for us. It's going to be, I think it's Monday the 10th at 12 noon, but I'll be posting it all over. You guys know that. And she's going to, the 12 to 12:30, the mastermind, she's going to do it on let's start the year with fun. So, are you having fun? I mean, that hit me in the head yesterday when Elizabeth Mendenhall said that, because we don't plan that. We don't put that into our calendar. And, like Coach Russ says, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Right. Or it might not exist. So, I have a coach who really coaches to the calendar. And for people with shiny object syndrome, like me, trying to focus more on living by my calendar, putting things into my calendar, being intentional about that calendar. Otherwise, I'm down a rat hole in 3 seconds with a shiny object. And suddenly I'm like, where have I been the last couple of hours? Anyway. So I would really encourage you guys to do that. There's also another one that I'll put in there that Fred and I'm so grateful that he does this. I'd love Marissa and Tom. I'd love you guys to consider doing this and let me know your feedback. There's something we do every year on either New Year's Eve day or New Year's Day. And Mel Robbins did it years ago. You hopefully all know who Mel Robbins is. And it's really an opportunity for couples. You can do it separately, but it's a very detailed looking back on the year in different areas. And you really spend a little bit of time writing. So maybe it's an hour, something like that. And then you sit together and kind of share. You really look at the last year and you write about it. And then you look at where you'd like to be and what's going to change in the next year. And we've done that every year as a couple and kind of shared that with each other. And it's been really great. It's been really, really great. So I'm going to put that resource in that folder as well. It's much more of a personal thing, but it's really important. and do it for yourself and or do it with your partner if you can get them to agree. I mean, I think every year Fred goes, it's probably not on his top of the list for things he wants to do on New Year's Day, but he does it because it's been really powerful for us, as well, for sure. So I want to also let you know, it's so exciting. Barbara Legg, turn your camera on if you're there, please. Barbara Legg and I, oh, there she is, my property sister. You're muted, Dollface. So Barbara Legg and I have been working together for the past, gosh, I don't know, 18 months. I mean, almost as long as I've been in EXP. We never met till the first time was in August. And we were like this running across the foyer, crying, like putting our arms around each other because we've never met. And we feel like we've known each other since the beginning of time. We're both in the same season of life and new glamas, and we just really, really enjoy working together. So we had wanted to, probably, gosh, about a year ago, Barbara's been a Buffini coached agent for a very long time, 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. I did Buffini for about a full year, the full boat, got them no cards every month and everything. And we kept thinking, God, it would be so great to offer a Buffini program as a value add to our community and as an attraction tool. We thought, this is brilliant. Why hasn't anyone else thought of this? So we got all ready to do it and we signed up, and she's already a mentor facilitator. I signed up as a mentor facilitator, paid the money, got the stuff. And then Buffini came back and said, not Buffini, someone in the Buffini organization came back and said, you can't do that. That's not the way we're structured. You can only offer a Buffini program in a brokerage. And I remembered I tried to take a class in Osterville when I was at Kinlan Grover across the street in Sotheby's, literally across the street, and then I couldn't do it. So we were like, that doesn't make sense, but okay, screw you. And so we literally sent the stuff back and we moved on. So when we were in San Diego together, which was so great, and National Association of Realtors, we attended Brian's session, which was, as Brian always is, just funny and thought-provoking and brilliant. And, it just makes you go, God, that's why I love Brian Buffini so much, And we thought, why can't we do this? And so we marched ourselves into the exhibit hall, and we actually ran into a woman whose name was Sinatra. I never remember people's names, but I remember her, Susan Sinatra. And she's pretty far up on the food chain in Buffini. And Barbara knew who she was. And that woman knew who Barbara was because Barbara's been around for so long. And we said, listen, if Brian Buffini wants to make more money and feed hungry children, his own 6, he always says that, and wants to raise the bar of professionalism for agents, help us understand why we can't do this. We're both really responsible realtors. This is what we'd like to do. We'd like to offer it to our team. We'd like to offer it to our greater team within EXP, but we want to put it out there, probably in a sales funnel. And novel into a long story, they agreed. And so we think we're the first North American people who've been able to actually offer this program. We're doing Pathways to Mastery, the advanced course. We are starting it, I believe it's Monday, February 14th. It's going to be an hour. It's probably 12 to 1 Eastern, 9 to 10 Pacific. And we are building a funnel. We're using some folks that are involved with EXP. Tom has used them for his amazing new site. And we're very excited. So we want y'all to put that on your calendar. The payment will go right through Buffini. It is $395, but there's a $50 discount until the end of the year. So we're going to start promoting that. And Buffini is like EXP. There's no special deals. They rarely have any money off their programs. They've always kind of stood on their value. So this $50 off till the end of the year is really like the only offered like twice a year or something. So we will send that out as well. We're just working with the funnel builder this week and next week, but we'll send out a teaser to save the date. It will be the full 8-week program with Barbara and my take on it. The content is fundamentals, but we want to bring some more fun to that and really talk about how you can be an influencer. But again, so much of it is fundamental, but we need to get back to those fundamentals and have fun while doing it. So that's wanted to make
so
sure.
I just want to add to it's just really important, that one slide that we just absolutely loved, where Brian says the average realtor makes $30,000 a year, right? A Buffini trained agent, whether it's one-on-one coaching or you just use the Buffini system, I think it's like $371,000 a year.
It's dramatic.
I mean, talk about 10x your business, right? Yeah. So you can we're hoping to provide a lot of value to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
very
that.
much. Let me know when you want to push that out, and I'll be happy to push that out to everyone. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're just working
Thank
on the branding, and we are going to use Property Sisters because we kind of love that Property Sisters coast to coast. So we're going to actually use that branding, and we're very excited. We're
Cool.
going to build this and hopefully offer it more than once and more of the Buffini stuff, because we really believe in it and we love it and it's very effective. So very excited about that. So it's just a little bit after 10. What a great mastermind. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God, Sammy, it's been so valuable. Now you have sucked into our group. We're not letting you go. We're going to hopefully bring you back in February. As I mentioned, I'll set that date up to do an ABC of investing. Tom, hopefully you'll be available as well. Any
Now
additional
we want to
questions?
coordinate that, Lisa. This time of year, I'm already, I woke up this morning and popped up on my calendar plan and get out a year end or new year business planning event. So your session this morning is extremely timely, but I want to do it live and I want to do it online. I want to open up to the whole world to register. Of course, the EXP agents can register for free on our team, but I want to be able to help other agents, the 2 million agents out there who want to jump on and learn this stuff. So we're putting that together. I want to kick it up a notch this year.
Yeah.
Rio is working on the flyer right now to basically do business planning. This is the time of year that we can help everybody do that. And if you can finish your stuff, your and Barbara's stuff about, then I can include that as part of our training. And of course, have you guys on as well to train. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll help you in any way I can with that. And also mark your calendars, guys, for February 17th. That is the second local event for Make Your First Million in real estate. We'll be doing that. I believe we're going to do it again in Rockland.
Exact same space, Rockland.
Yep.
Full day event now, though. Full day event, 10 to 5 p.m.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
what was the date?
17th.
February 17th. Mark that
And I
date
think-
down.
I think what we're doing is the morning list more houses, the afternoon list more agents. So we're going to put the two in one day. Very excited about that format. So
Perfect.
instead of having two days and everyone back at Tom's house, like the last one, we're going to do. So if you want to do the attraction piece, you're already there. Please join us. If not, have a great morning with us, listing more houses and have lunch and then move on. And also, Tom, do you want to mention the holiday party in Boston before we close up?
Yeah, holiday party. It's just self-organized. Sammi Ng, Sammy Yee right here just called me a couple of weeks ago. As Tom, we got to do something. We're waiting for EXP corporate to do something, and they haven't announced anything. It looks like they aren't going to do anything, and we just want to have fun and celebrate an amazing 2021 with you guys. December 18th. It's $35 a ticket. We're not making any money at all. We have 0 sponsors. We're self-funding, as a matter of fact. It all comes in at more than $35. So Sam and I are going to split the difference on the lost, but it's well worth for us, for our team. December 18th in Chinatown. It's on, just register. It's on Workplace and the Massachusetts Workplace.
Do the link.
It's on
Do the
Expert
link to
Attraction.
that.
It's on my Team Trong. It's everywhere.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah.
Just
if it's
look in
on-
the Facebook groups. You'll find it. Just type holiday party and you'll find it somewhere somehow. Yeah.
I'll be in Rentham, but I'm going to drive to Boston from there. So I'll definitely.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the link right now. I'm not sure. Let's see. We put it out everywhere. If you follow Sammi Ng, she put it out yesterday, I think, to promote it as well.
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll register. All right.
Okay.
Thank you
All
guys.
right.
Thank you guys. See you all soon.
you.
Excellent job, everybody. Thank you, Lisa.